Testing. Hey, YouTube. How's everybody doing tonight? How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's blessed, thankful, content. Hope everybody's doing good. Uh, your families, your children. Um. So yeah, thank you for being here. My channel. The name of my channel is called Reach. REACH. The name of the channel is called Reach. This is where we reach in, reach out, and reach up. I want to thank you. I know your time is valuable. You could be doing so many other things, but I do want to thank you for being here with me. I want to have a couple of videos to make. I'm sure everybody's aware how, life just happens. You plan on things, you want to get things done, and next thing you know, hours pass by, days pass by. But you know yeah, that's how it was with me. It's been almost a week since I've been able to upload a video, but here I am, back at it, hopefully to be a blessing to everybody and anyone who hears this and stops by. So yeah, like I said, I value your time. I know your time is valuable to me. I know you could be doing other things, but today I want to share something to fathers, all the men out there, the men, whether you have one child, whether I have six, three girls, three boys. But yeah, I want to share this to all the fathers. This has to do with our responsibility as fathers. This has to do with fatherhood. Um, I never knew my father. I think I saw him maybe once or twice in my life. He was born in Mexico. He never was around. Years later, after my mom decided to give me some history on the dude, she basically said that he didn't want anything to do with me. He didn't even want to carry me. Um, it's been hard, and I'm not gonna lie. There was a time in my life where I did wish that I had a father. I wished that I can get on someone's shoulders. Wish that I can play ball with a man with, my father. I used to see some of my friends with their fathers, and yeah, it made me, at some point, sometimes it would make me ask myself, like, what did I do wrong? Why didn't he want me? Um, but the truth of the matter is that I have a father. He's the true and living God. He's my father, my heavenly father, and he's been doing an awesome job, to be totally honest with you. My father in heaven has been doing an awesome job in my life. He disciplines me, he corrects me, he guides me. Um, sometimes we wrestle, sometimes you know, we're not on good terms. And I say this just to make a reference, like a father. But he is holy, he is just, he has every right, you know. Um, but yeah, my father's in heaven, and unfortunately, I didn't have a father here on earth, but it's all good. Um, One of the things that actually happened in my life when my daughter, when my first daughter, when she came into my life, I said to myself, I'm not going to be like my father. Sometimes we use those examples in our life to say, well, if he took off, I'm going to take off. If he did this, I'm going to do it. No, I knew how lonely it feels. I know how it is. I know how it feels. And no, but by no means, um, am I going to leave my kids? But um, I don't get any credit because I wasn't perfect. I messed up a lot of things along the way. But, my father in heaven, he gave me the courage. He taught me a lot in how to be a father. Um, And to be honest with you, that's probably one of the greatest gifts in my life, to be a father. It has been my full focus. It has been um, the thing that I am focused on mostly in life now. I have two grandkids, so, I'm gonna spoil them. Um, but yeah, I'll share more, throughout more videos. I'll share more about my background, my family, my upbringing. But, God really blessed me with kids. And since I didn't have a father, and I grew up in the barrio, I grew up in the gang, yeah, there was older men, the big homies, big camaradas, the big OGs that I used to look up to, but never in that sense, not like a father, not like, it was just older men with experience that would school us, they would teach us and, how to carry ourselves and things like that. But uh, when my kid, after my first daughter came into my life, and I remember when she called me daddy. A lot of the times I know that, you want your kid to say daddy or mommy. But when she said daddy, it just literally echoed within me, It echoed in my head, it echoed in my heart. And I was like, man, she's calling me something that I don't know nothing about. But again, through God's grace, it's been a blessing. My oldest daughter now, she's 27. My oldest daughter is 27, and I have a younger daughter that's 9, so. Okay, so to fathers, this message is to all fathers, and not just fathers, but again, if there's a blessed woman, uh, anybody, this is basically, I wanted to say for fatherhood, for all the fathers, but any, if it's a mom as well, if there's a woman here that can use this advice, hope it's a blessing to you anyway. I hope it's a blessing to you. Okay. So one of the things that I do, one of the things that God has taught me being a father is this. Now keep in mind, I didn't have a father. Okay. So I was making a lot of mistakes. I didn't know how to do certain things. Kids don't come with instructions. So I was really like striking out. I was really trying to figure this out. But I remember my daughter, the oldest one, and I'm sure a lot of kids come to this point where it's why. They have like a million whys, and they ask those whys back to back. Daddy, why this? You answer the question, and why? And why? And why? Um, I'm sure I'm not the only one that went through that, but it was cool because when she did that, when she was going through that, man, I never got tired of the whys. I never got tired of them because here I was, and I was like, she's asking me. She's depending on me on the answer. She wants to know something, and she's depending on me. Am I gonna lie to her? Am I gonna make it up? Am I gonna, where am I gonna get this information from if I didn't know? But that when she was started asking me why, it brought value to our relationship because now she was depending on me to tell her to answer those questions for her. And it wasn't just that, when she was 2 or 3, I took this along with every one of my kids, and I took this along, and I still do it today. To this very day, I still do it. What am I talking about? I'm talking about explaining things to kids. Okay, fathers, mothers, whoever's listening to, if you have a child, please listen to this. I want to be a blessing in your life. I want to speak into your life. Listen to this message. Explain things to your kids. Your children are valuable. You need to understand, you need to look at your children, you need to look at them with value and with respect. What do I mean by respect? When, as a grown up, and you're doing your business, let's say you go into a bank or you're dealing with another grown-up, grown-ups, we tend to look at each other and we respect each other as grown-ups. And if one of us has a question or whatever the case may be, even if you're talking to a stranger, you can say to that stranger, excuse me, well, what does that mean? And as grown-ups, we take the time to explain things to one another. If you tell, hey man, I'm kind of lost, where I can get to, you know to this place, and that person, obviously that person's helpful, that person will explain things to you. Well, look, check this out. You're gonna go down 3 blocks, you're gonna make a right, and after you pass that little dude, you're gonna go here. So a grown-up will value you as another grown-up and explain things to you. But we as parents don't do that to our kids. Sometimes we're like, they don't need to know, or why they're asking me, go ask somebody else. Or we're bothered by that. Why? We're bothered by that question that they ask. And like I said, I'm not perfect, but this is something that I learned along the way. And I wrote down 3 things that you'll benefit in your relationship with your children if you explain things to them. And again, you got to understand, you don't have to wait till they're 10. You don't have to wait till they're a certain age. Obviously, if they ask a question, you're going to answer their question. You're going to explain it to them in an age appropriate manner. You know what I'm saying? Like, mom, where do babies come from? Those kind of things. You're going to explain things to them according to their age. You're not going to go out and, get a textbook and start unloading these facts and, no. But what I'm trying to, you don't have to wait for them to, I remember my kids being little, you know, or when I would try to teach them how to talk, I would explain it to them. I remember one of my son, I would get his little hands, his little fingers, and I would put his little fingers on my voice box so that he can feel the vibration of when I talk. So you can explain things to your kids, as soon as day one, talking to them, seeing a value in their life to say, you know what, I can make a difference in my boys and my girls' life if I explain things to them. And guys, listen, parents, you have to explain these things to them, because if you don't, somebody else will. And that somebody else is not going to love them, is not going to care for them. And they're going to fill them up with lies. They're going to fill them up with this, misinformation, untruthful things. So, when you discipline, when I remember my mom was just, don't do this. And that's it. I never got an explanation. I never got instructions. It was just, don't do this. Why? Because I said so. With my kids, I explain everything to them. Look, if you do this, there's a consequence. And you're going to pay that consequence. After all these years, and I have 3 older kids already. They're living on their own. They're making their life. And I see the difference. I see how they're attracted to instruction. I see when they have questions and they're looking for information because of what I did in their life. So every time that they had a question, it was an opportunity for me to speak into their life, and speak into their life what? Truth. Nothing but truth. And again, if you're a parent, please practice this. Start this as soon as you can. Trust me, you'll see a difference in your relationship with your child. The importance of explaining things to your children, you'll strengthen their understanding, and you'll strengthen the parent-child relationship. You know what that means? It means that you'll make it strong. You'll make your child strong in understanding. You'll make your child want instruction later on in life. And he's going to question if he or she hears a lie, they're going to be questioning, like, what, that's not true. It's not going to sit well with them. Why? Because they're our responsibility, and our children deserve, to be explained how life works, how everything works. So again, please, parent, take the time, take the moment, stop what you're doing. If your kid is asking you a question, stop what you're doing and take that opportunity to speak into their life, speak truth into their life, whatever it might be. If you don't know, be honest. Say, you know what, I don't know, but I'm going to look into it. And then we're going to have this conversation. Or, you know what, let's both look into it. One of the key things that's going to happen in your relationship with your child is, number one, you're going to build trust and you're going to build openness. Okay? You're going to build trust and there's going to be openness in the relationship between you and your child when you explain things to them, when you take the time to explain everything. Okay, when you take the time to explain, you're gonna, even at that point, you're gonna respect and value your child. That's it. When you take the time to explain things to your child, you're gonna look at your child as someone you respect. You respect them enough to tell them the truth. You respect them enough to answer the question to the fullest extent that you're able to. And is there any doubt? Is there any question? But you're going to respect your child in that sense that, you know what, my child deserves to know the truth. And that truth is going to come from me because I love him, because I love her, and I care what information my child is going to be exposed to. And I'm going to expose my child to nothing but the truth. So you're going to begin to respect and value your kid. Okay? And you're also going to build trust. What's going to happen? You're going to build trust. Your child's going to know, man, you know what? My dad doesn't lie. My mom doesn't lie. I'm going to go talk to my mom. I'm going to go talk to my dad. And to this very day, and God gets all the glory, I don't. I have an open relationship with my children. Obviously, they don't tell me everything, and I know, I'm not intrusive either. But I have that comfort, I have that peace that my children will talk to me. If there's something important in their life, they're going to come and we're going to chop it up. We're going to talk about it. And I'm going to understand my child, and that child's going to understand where I'm coming from. And yeah, they're not going to accept everything that I say. They can reject it because they have that freedom. I'm not going to be like, well, this is what I say because you got to do what I say. No, tampoco, nah, no. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you're going to build trust. And they're going to know that you as a parent, that you're open and that you're approachable. Okay, listen to that. Again, I didn't have a father. My mom was always working. My mom wasn't approachable. I would try to hug her. She'll push me away because she was tired. She was working all the time, you know. But if you do this, your child is going to know that you're an open person, that you're a book, that you're transparent, that you've been through things and you're able to explain it to them so that they won't go through it. That's one thing that blows my mind, how I'm not going to let my kid go to prison. If I can help it, I'm going to speak truth into my child so my child won't choose gangs, so my child won't choose drugs, so my child won't choose prison. And that started at the earliest stage of my children. They know how to carry themselves. I pray for them. I honestly pray for them because they're out there. They're living their life and they're exposed to everything. I'm not around. They can choose to do drugs. They can choose to sleep around. They can choose to whatever they want to do. It's their life. But they know that I'm open and they know that they can approach me. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to pray about it. But it's my job to value my children and respect them as much as for me to say, you know what, you deserve the truth and I'm going to take the time and I'm going to talk to you and I'm going to listen to you. And here's what I got to say about that subject. Okay? And after that, your kids are going to ask questions. They're going to look at you. You're going to be their Google. Straight out. If you explain things to your kid, they're not going to go to the neighbor. They're not going to go to the homie. They're going to come to you because you keep it real and you're going to explain things to them. And that's what you want. You don't want your kids going to the wrong source for information. You don't. Because you remember, just like we did, just like me. I got my information from the wrong source, and I built my life on that wrong information, and I paid the price because I was making mistakes built on that false information. So now my kids are building their life on the right information. So if you explain things to your child, they're going to know, you know what, I can go to my mom, I can go to my dad with questions. And not only that, next thing you know, they're just going to be sharing their thoughts. They're going to be sharing what they're going through. They're going to be sharing what's on their mind. They're going to be sharing things that are, big decisions in their life, and that's going to be a strong relationship. And you're also going to provide a space for them to learn, a space for them to explore ideas. You know what I mean by that? Man, it's a blessing for me to take a walk with my kids. And I can talk to my kids like my best friends. And I have to visualize it in my head to say, you know what, my son, my daughter, they're my best friends. And I want to talk to them like my best friends. And with time that happens and you have that, it's a blessing. It's a blessing to share that space with my children and talk to them like they're my friends. And not the kind of friend that's going to be like, oh, well, let's go take a drink or let's go smoke. Yeah, me and my kids party. I've done it and it's a big no, no. I don't get no credit for that. I don't get no points. That's not proper parenting, you know. But now, after those mistakes and after realizing, my kids are going to have plenty of friends. I'm going to be their best friends. I'm going to have that open space with them. We're going to talk about things. We're going to understand each other. But I'm going to give him the truth about everything, you know? Okay, so number 2, the second thing that's going to happen when you explain things to your children is you're going to encourage critical thinking. You're going to encourage critical thinking and understanding in your child. And let me tell you something that makes a big difference, because I see how my kids are now. I see how when sometimes they're stuck on something or they're thinking about things, and you see the little gears in their head working, and I can tell that they're thinking about things. They're trying to figure things out. Why? Because of that time, because of those moments that I took the time to explain things to them that they didn't know about. So you explain it to them, you break it down, and their little gears and their little mind starts working, and they start putting one and one together. And then what happens? They do that in their school. They do that in their relationships. They do that wherever they go in life. Their little mind is now critically thinking of things about life, about making decisions, about all that good stuff. Uh, so number 2, you're going to encourage your child to thinking critically, critical thinking and understanding. You're going to help them to to think deeper. And that's another thing, man. Another thing that you want your child to be a thinker. Listen to this. You want your child to be a thinker. You want your child to take the time to think about things before they react. I used to think about things after the fact. I used to think about things after the fact, after I was paying for a crime or I was involved in something. Then I would think of this, damn, what's going on? But before that, it was just an action. It was just natural for me to react. And then I would think about things. And it was too late sometimes. Couldn't change anything. You couldn't take nothing back. You had to write it out. So yeah, you'll encourage your kids to be critical thinkers. You'll teach them to think deeply. And you're gonna have your kids are gonna be asking why behind everything. Whatever they're learning, they're gonna be asking, well, why? Why does it work that way? And why? Why does it do this? And why? Because now they're thinking, because you took the time to explain things, because now they know how life works. Now they know how truth matters. And wherever they go, if they ask somebody a question and they reply with a lie, your kid's gonna, well, wait a minute, you know what, that don't make no sense. um yeah, so you're gonna also help them question misinformation. Okay. And listen to this, your kid is gonna understand right from wrong. Listen, parents, I know that we're living in those days that I'm 49 years old. Okay, I'm 49. I'm going to be 50 in a matter of months. I know my kids are living in a world that is totally different, but I know my kids know right from wrong. And that's what you want your child to know, right from wrong, not half right, not half wrong, not a little bit of right, a little bit of wrong. No, it's just right and wrong, black and white. You want your child to know and not to think about it or second guess it. Am I supposed to be drinking and driving? No, I'm not supposed to be drinking. I'm not supposed to be doing this. I'm not supposed to be doing that. Why? Because it's wrong. Okay, if it's wrong, I'm good with that. I'm not supposed to be doing what's wrong. Explain things to your child. Share with them what you've been through. Share with them your experiences. Share with them how you ended up learning what you learned. Whether it was through hard times, through struggles, through problems, but you learn the outcome of your actions. Teach your child, share with your child, explain to your child so that they won't go through it. Okay? Another thing that you're going to also do by explaining things to your children is that you're going to prevent misinformation, misunderstanding. Again, you're going to teach your kid, you're going to teach your child what's misinformation and what's misunderstanding, okay? Because again, your children, they will fill in the gaps with ideas from other sources, and those other sources are going to be misleading and untrue. Remember that. If you don't explain things to your kids are going to pick it up from movies, music, YouTube, wherever they can get it. Okay? And don't be surprised if you start seeing when you start seeing a difference in your child, you're gonna understand. Look at right away, this is it. When you see something different about your child, is because your child now is making choices based on the information that they have in their head. Simple as that. Why is my daughter dressing like that? Why is my son dressing like that? Why are they talking like that? What are they doing? They're making decisions, they're reacting accordingly to the information that they have in their head. Where did they get that information? How did they get it? Who put it there? And dealing with that is a struggle. Remember, dealing with that is a struggle. If they're going to school and they're learning all these things in school, that's what, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours apart from you, and they're picking up stuff that's not true. And now you're seeing that they're living like they're doing things you didn't even teach them, but somebody filled in that gap. Okay, they filled in that gap of not knowing something with something. They filled in that gap with misinformation and untrue things, and now they're making decisions based on that. So start explaining things to them. Start explaining things to them. Start explaining calmly, relaxing, again, like it's your best friend, with respect and value towards your child. Look at your child with respect and value and say, I value you so much that I'm going to explain things to you. Another thing that's going to happen is you're gonna be honest with your child. There's gonna be honesty. Honesty is gonna be one of the foundations in your relationship with your child if you explain things to them truthfully, accordingly. Your child's gonna seek out information. Okay, now because you took the time to explain things, now your child is gonna be seeking out information wherever they can get it, because now they know what information is. They know that information is valuable. They know that information is, you got to look for the proper information. Trust me when I tell you, now we have to literally take the time to find the truth because of so much stuff that's going on that's not true. You got fake news. That's like an oxymoron. That's like jumbo shrimp. What in the world? How can somebody make up fake news? News is supposed to be truthful, but now you got fake news. It's crazy. Um, so your kids are going to be seeking out information. They're going to ask questions, and rather than them blindly accepting what they hear from others, they're going to be looking for truth. They're not just going to hear it and believe it. Now they're going to question it. Now they're going to critically think, is this information that this person told me, is it the truth? And that's what you want from your child. So this message is for parents, mothers. Because I'm a man, I am directing this to all fathers. This has to do with our fatherhood. This is our responsibility. Our children they're our responsibility, and we have to explain things to our kids. We have to. It's very important. There's so many good benefits, such a blessing. Again, you can look at your child and understand that your child has a good head on his shoulders. He knows what's up. He's gonna make the right decision. You want that in your child, but you have to be the one to make that difference. Uh, so now it's your turn. React to what you heard me talk about. React to it. Put your comments. Shoot me a comment. Let me know what you think, and please consider being part of Reach, being part of this channel. Please consider being a part of it, as part of the community. Subscribe, whatever else, you want to be, at the like button. Your time is valuable to me. I hope I didn't waste your time. I hope you got something valuable out of it. I hope you took notes or watch it again, watch the video again. React to the video. Let me know what you think. Thank you very much for spending your 20, 30, I think it's, yeah, thank you for spending 30 minutes with me. I appreciate it. I hope I've been a blessing in your life. Thank you for being here at Reach. My name's Frank Reacher. Remember, reach in, reach out, reach up.